This is Mark Bell from Supertraining.TV, Supertraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. ST's right there in the background. Just got done training, got done hitting some squats. Just as I said, I'd be back under that weight before the end of the month. And here we are towards the end of the month, and I successfully squatted over 315 pounds. I know that's unbelievable from a guy who weighs about 275, but it'll just be another world record that I'll have to deal with at some other point. Anyway, just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and say what's up. I'm very lonely, so here I am on my way home, and just thought I'd hit up the Power Project real quick. The cliffhanger, the answer to the cliffhanger, whose record did Bill Kazmaier break? The answer is Don Reinhart. So it went from Don Reinhart to Bill Kazmaier to Ed Cohn to Gary Frank, and then you guys can guess from there on where the hell everything went from there. The new cliffhanger question from Supertraining is who was the fattest member in the history of ST? I know that's not very nice, but that question needs to be answered. Who's the fattest guy to ever walk through the doors of Supertraining? I guess that's kind of up for debate in some ways, but there's one kind of undisputed champ of it. Also, just wanted to talk a little bit about some things I saw inside the gym tonight that you'll see on Supertraining.TV in an upcoming video. Had a guy deadlifting, had a couple guys squatting, a couple guys new to Supertraining. One guy was in from Texas, or still in the military, and he's on leave, and he decided to come in and have his squat checked out. So we went over some things with him, but he's 6'4". Have another guy who's a doctor from the East Coast decide to come in and have his squat checked out, and he's probably about 5'9", probably 180, 170, somewhere in that range, maybe a little bit smaller. And the guy who's 6'4" is probably a good 280. He's probably a good 260. Also had another individual, a personal trainer, who was hitting up some deadlifts, and he's about $180 or so. And just kind of very thin and kind of very lean. So to try to train all these guys, especially all at once, is quite a chore, especially while you're working out yourself. But to try to train these guys, to have all these guys do all the same shit is absolutely insane, and I don't understand it. I don't know why coaches are trying to preach and teach everyone with the same methods. I think a lot of it has to do with ego, and I've had trouble with that myself many times, trying to teach young athletes or new athletes some stuff, and I'm having trouble understanding why they can't do it the way I'm doing it. But I think I come from a little bit more lenient perspective due to the fact that I'm unable to get into certain positions due to lack of mobility. I have my own problems, my own weaknesses, so coming from that side of the fence, I can better understand you and what you need. And so I had one guy today, when he was deadlifting, he was way up here with his chin. But you see, for me, the guy who's 280 pounds, 275 pounds, and muscular, been training for a very long time, muscular, look at those guns, bam. The guy who's jacked like myself, tell me to move my head's not going to move a whole lot. Plus, look at the size of this dome. How much, that thing's got to weigh 80, 90 pounds minimum. So my head's not going to move all that much. So these coaches that have been telling their football players to have their head up, look at the ceiling and stuff like that when they've been squatting, they're not entirely wrong, but that's pretty much a retarded cue to say to keep your head up in this direction. I'd rather see people keep their chin back more and keep their chest up, and to keep their back neutral. You need a neutral spine to squat big weights, and in some cases even a slightly rounded over thoracic spine, mid to upper back area, slightly rounded. I know, you think I'm crazy, but it's true. That's the way it's got to be to hit a big squat. You can't be in these crazy positions to squat a big weight. People are trying to arch up too much, and they're trying to do all this shit with their neck and their head, and they look like they're sucking on a cock in some cases. I know this is supposed to be rated PG. Fuck it. Who cares sometimes, right? Sometimes you got to say it. People are doing too much shit with their neck and their head on the deadlift and on the squat. So keep your head neutral. When you unrack a weight, get yourself sturdy, keep your head neutral, and maintain your position and ride it out, ride it dirty all the way through. There's no reason to have your chin up and back like this. Now, if that helps you maintain a flat back throughout the range of motion, then maybe that's the style that you're going to use. Our taller individual for today, he had his arm way back like this when he was squatting. His elbows were kind of straight up and out. I haven't seen a lot of guys hit huge squats that way, but I've seen some, which leads me to believe that it's not 100% wrong, which led me to believe that maybe this is the way this guy should squat. So I went around back to spot him, to check him out and see his tight glutes. I mean, to see his rear delts and to see his mid to upper back. And guess what? Everything was in perfect alignment with that style, with the elbows up. So the person that's coaching him is giving him pretty damn good advice. And he's lucky enough to get around somebody who has experience, who's been on a platform before. Whereas some of you other guys out there may not have that. You may not have anybody out there to really watch you. So where you hold the bar, where you put your head, what you do with your spine, whether you're arched, whether you're rounded, it's all going to be a very individual thing. And that's why here at Supertraining, right in the background there, that's why here at Supertraining, it's an open door. The door is open. The price of admission is your hard work. It doesn't cost anything else. All you got to do is take some action and walk through those doors. And it's free. It costs $0. Come see me on a Saturday or Sunday, and I'll show you. I'll take you through as many things as we can get to in a given workout. And that's the way it is here at Supertraining. I'm always trying to give back because I learned a lot of this shit for free myself. Guess what it cost when I went to Westside Barbell? Anybody know the price? Cost me $0. Cost me a lot of hard work, a lot of bloodshed, maybe a couple tears. It was very demanding. It was very physical, but it was worth it. And I thank Louis Simmons, my sensei, as I call him all the time. He hates that I call him that probably, but he was my coach. He's the guy that helped direct me, and he's the guy who still this day has helped me hit some big numbers and help people in my gym hit big numbers. And so I pass it along to you here in the style and the format of the Power Project, but also by walking through those doors for $0. Anybody want to come do it on a Saturday or Sunday morning? Open up around 8:30 and there till about 11:30 or 12, depending on the day or depending on the weekend. But those are just some things I saw from tonight. Try to keep in mind, let's keep a more neutral head position. Stan Efferding kind of even lifts with his head down, because if his head's up too much, it makes him the barbell kind of roll off his back. For me, my head's pretty neutral when I squat. You look at guys like AJ Roberts, his head is a little bit in an upward position, but everything else is on lockdown. Everything else is locked in. Look at Dave Hoff. Dave Hoff's head's real neutral. His head's not up too high, his head's not down, his head is very neutral. So those are some things you're going to want to keep in mind. Just because your high school football coach or your gym teacher told you that your head needs to be like this while deadlifting and while squatting, they may or may not have been right. It may not have been a good cue for you, especially if you have a real mobile neck. During the deadlift, it's even worse. You see that upward head position. I did a video on it on the Coach's Eye. You can search for it on YouTube. Coach's Eye, Mark Bell, teaching conventional deadlift. Type in something like that, and I'm sure it'll pop up at some point. And you can kind of watch that. There's a major breakdown when somebody kind of throws their head back and they're in this weird, funky position. Kind of hard for me to demonstrate out here by myself. But I'm going to get into my car and I'm going to head home. And that is it from Supertraining.tv. Later.